Hello, my name is Allison Rowe, and one question that I have for all of you watching today is if any of you have ever visited a zoo or an aquarium in your lifetime. So, according to the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, the amount of people that will visit zoos and aquariums are over 183 million in the United States and over 200 million worldwide. Which, if you think about it, that's more than the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB annual attendance combined, which that is crazy to think about. If any of you have ever been to a sports game, just think of how big those crowds are. I mean, that's crazy. So the number 183 million, that makes up approximately half of the United States population. So I can conclude from that at least half of you watching this video have attended a zoo or an aquarium in your lifetime. So thank you for answering the question that I had previously asked. So in this video today, first I will state how many animals are approximately kept in zoos. I will also list some negative effects that zoos or aquariums have on animals. Then I will state an organization that you can donate to, and lastly, I will explain a specific example of the negative effects that captivity has had on animals. So, according to the RSPCA, 600,000 birds and mammals are kept in the world's zoos, which that is such a large population of animals. In an article written by Sally L. Sherwin and Paul H. Hemsworth, it states that one prominent feature of the zoo environment is the presence of visitors. Visitor contact can be unpredictable and intense, particularly in terms of auditory and visual interaction. And I just found this really sad because animals can be disturbed by visitors, and this is sad because visitors may think that they're helping the animals by visiting them and being nice, but it can actually be a really negative experience for the animals. So an article from BBC Earth titled "Many Animals Can Become Mentally Ill," this article states that it seems that animal mental illness can be triggered by many of the same factors that unleash mental illness in humans. That includes a loss of family or companions, loss of freedom, stress, trauma, and abuse. So this could mean that animals are capable and they have the capacity to have mental illness the same as human beings do. And this triggers for mental illness, I noticed, in animals, they seem to fit a lot of the characteristics that animals have that are in captivity. So according to an article titled "Chronic Captivity Stress in Wild Animals is Highly Species Specific," this article states, wild animals are brought into captivity for many reasons: conservation, research, agriculture, and exotic pet trade. While the physical needs of animals are met in captivity, the conditions of confinement and exposure to humans can result in physiological stress. While these responses are adaptive, overexposure to stress can cause physiological problems, such as weight loss, changes to the immune system, and decreased reproductive capacity. So even if animals have their physical needs met, if they're in a zoo or an aquarium, or if they're in captivity, they might not have their mental needs met. So they might not be mentally healthy. So according to an article written by Hannah O'Rogan and Andrew Kitchener, it states that, however, it is also apparent that morphological and physiological changes can occur in captivity, which could have important implications for reintroductions and the management of wild and captive populations as a whole, but as yet, these have received little attention. So basically what this means is that when animals are set back into the wild, if they're being held in captivity and then they're set back into the wild, they may have difficulty doing this and they might not even be able to return back to the wild at all, which I found this incredibly sad because that means that they can just never return to their home and where they're originally meant to be. So now I'm going to speak to you all about the ways in which you can donate to an organization that is against animal captivity. So one organization that you can donate to is the Humane Society of the United States, and this is a nonprofit organization, and their main mission statement is just to help protect animals, which I think anyone who's watching this can agree that animals should be protected. So another organization that you can donate to is Freedom for Animals, and I really love this organization. Their main statement is just to free animals from zoos and aquariums. And I really love their statement and just the fact that they're trying to stop animals from being held in captivity. Personally, I've donated to this organization before, so of course, I really love it. But I really enjoy donating to this organization because they actually can give you free gifts. So they have a shop, so while you're donating, you can also get gifts as well, which I know everybody likes free gifts. So you can donate to the Humane Society of the United States through going to their website, which is humanesociety.org, and then Freedom for Animals, you can donate through their website, which is freedomforanimals.org. So I would really suggest that anyone who's watching this would just donate or at least research these organizations, because they are really, really good and they help spread, goodness in the world. And according to humanesociety.org, the Humane Society of the United States and its affiliates spend nearly 80% of all gifts directly on life-saving animal protection programs. So if you're worried about donating to an organization that it won't, put where you actually want your money to go, it does. So 80%, which is a large portion. So with donating, you can not only help the animals, but you can also help yourself, just because it does feel really good to donate and to just help bring goodness into the world. So as I previously stated, you can receive gifts from this as well, so that could also be, a positive towards donating. So now I will speak to you about a specific example of the damage that animals being in captivity can have. So one species of animals that is specifically harmed by this is birds. And birds can suffer from mental illness when they're being kept in captivity. And the mental illness that mostly affects them is just anxiety, and they get really stressed out. And they have a lot of negative effects from this. So according to an article titled An Association Between Feather Damaging Behavior and Cortisone Metabolic Excretion in Captive African Gray Parrots, this basically stated that feather damage behavior, or FDB, includes plucking, chewing, fraying, and or biting, and it results in loss or damage to feathers. FDB in parrots is usually self-inflicted, and generally includes all mutilation of the feathers accessible to the bird's beak. It's estimated that approximately 10% of the captive bird population suffer from FDB, which 10%, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is terrible that any living creature would have to suffer through this. Personally, I have anxiety as well, and I know that a lot of you watching may have it. So this really just made me feel really bad, just because no living creature should have to go through that, and they shouldn't be stressed. They shouldn't be that stressed out where they self-mutilate themselves. So I would like for all of you to remember the question that I had originally asked in the beginning of this speech. And the chances are at least half of you have been to a zoo, and I would really hope that you would reconsider ever attending a zoo or aquarium again that keeps animals in captivity. And ultimately, the main way that we can stop being kept in captivities are just by to stop attending zoos and aquariums completely. And I would really hope that any of you who watch this would donate to an organization that helps prevent animal captivity.